Hello, today is 10/29/2024, and I just completed my 13th drummer book this year, and it will be the last one for this year. I've been waiting for this for a while. I did a live broadcast just over a week ago that I got this and was excited, and I just finished it. And man, this is a great book. Alex Van Halen Brothers. It's 226 pages long. It's got some nice pictures in it, but Alex is a great writer. I'm thinking it said that they transcribed most of this from speech, which I'm sure is the case, but whether it be by editing or whether he's just a very fluid speaker, I'm not sure which, but he can really organize his thoughts. It's the book is organized very well. I'll tell you what it is and what it is not. It talks primarily about his childhood, his love of his brother, his love of drums and music, obviously, and it also talks about the albums, like an album by album review, but it's from the Van Halen first era with David Lee Roth, and David is in here a lot. Michael Anthony, not very much, not stories about Michael. It's primarily stories about the childhood, the brothers, the music, the albums, David Lee Roth, and then later on the family life with being married and divorced, and the brother passing and other people passing, a lot about their producer Ted. But it's just great. It's a little bit about addictions and things of those rock underpinnings, but it's very emotional, it's very deep, it's very thought out. Alex is a very intelligent person, you can tell. And what I'm hoping, Alex, if you're listening, because he included excerpts in the end of this from actual fans that had written him after he lost his brother, would you please write about the second era of Van Halen? Because you barely started touching on the 5150 studio experience with writing and recording of 1984. But I'm sure that everyone else that's read this book now wants to hear the second half of the story. And I know that your brother is gone, but not gone, according to what your beliefs are. He's there with you in another form. But please, you can put more stories about your brother in book 2, and then go into the Sammy Hagar era and cover a lot of that. I'm not sure if you have any legal restrictions, perhaps. But all I can say, Alex, is that you're a great writer. You need to write more. And I would be totally enthralled with hearing book 2 about the second half of Van Halen's experience with Sammy and also the other singer too. So great book. Really what summarizes it great is right before the epilogue, and I wasn't gonna do this, but I think I'm going to. I find myself thinking about the beginning a lot these days. In some ways the distant past feels more vivid than what happened last week. I have dreams about the boat ride here from Holland, playing piano in the banquet hall with the boat smell, and hoping to see the dark-haired little girl. Pasadena, California, the promised land, those syllables and sounds so thoroughly devoid of Dutch, and the colors. My uncle's baby blue Ford, oranges for a penny, the broken combs, my mom with her purse full of steak, throwing a bottle at the red ball jet, the stabbing at Walter Mitty's, electric lady with Jean, sprinting off the Ventura Freeway in platform shoes to get to our big meeting at Warner Brothers that night in Scotland when we found out we'd gone gold. The gold records my cousin stole from Lost Luna Street. Searching for Ozzy in the stairwells, watching him blast those duck decoys out of his pond. Castaic Lake with Greg and Ed and my old man who were alive that day and aren't anymore. Ed's wedding, the drunkest I've ever seen him. The first time he played me the riff from Jump that night in Nuremberg, Germany. The last shows of our last tour as the original Van Halen. We sold the idea of imagination, Dave wrote, extreme imagination. forced to the breaking point, and we broke. It was the most disappointing thing I'd experienced in my life, the thing that seemed the most wasteful and unjust, until I lost my brother. Man, that kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to dig into in this book. And I forgot to mention the tour with Black Sabbath. That was really an interesting segment too. So, great book, great writer. Of all the 13 drummer books that I've read, this might be the best one. I was going to say, Alex, great job.